Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tia here. If you are new, please like and subscribe. But for today's video, I'm gonna be talking about like racism starting at a young age. So quick backstory. So I work with kids at this little daycare type place, right? And I'm working with 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds right now, right? And like I like all of the kids pretty much. It's kind of mixed. Like there's a few black kids, there's mostly white, of course, and then there's like a little Indian girl or whatever. But yeah, it's mostly mixed for the most part, right? But there's this one little girl who has been saying things that are completely out of pocket. And I feel like I don't know if she was doing this when I first started working there or I didn't pick up on it or what, but now like I feel like I'm noticing what she's saying and doing more often, right? So pretty much since I'm black, I typically gravitate towards the black kids more, and unfortunately black kids end up with more of the behavior problems, or they're not getting attention at home, and like, the basic stuff, right? So I gravitated towards this little black girl. She struggles with like self-confidence, and she's just like doesn't stick up for herself, that type of thing. She wants to like fit in, be friends with everybody, whatever, right? So I'm like, that's my little buddy, okay? So we also have this one little white girl. I think she's mixed with like, she looks white, but I think her heritage or whatever is Spanish or something, because she said her grandma was Spanish, right? But I've noticed that this little white girl be saying things about the little black girl in like a weird type of way, right? And me personally, since I'm legally blind, I feel like my hearing is on 100, so I can hear all the little conversations that the kids be having like as they're playing and stuff, right? So I think the first instance with the little white girl, like any person would sit next to her, like another little white girl, and she would be like, okay, you can play with me, do you want to play with me, blah blah blah, right? But then once the little black girl goes up to her, or the little Indian girl or whatever, she's like, oh, I don't want you to sit next to me, you smell funny, you look weird. And then I noticed one time she was like, you don't look like me. And I was like, I turned my head so fast and I was like, huh? And then I was like looking at the conversation over there, and the little white girl was like, oh, no, you can't play here because you don't look like me. Like, only people who look like me can play with. I'm like, huh? So, of course, I go over there. I'm like, bro, you can't be saying those things. Like, what are you doing? And then, of course, the little white girl's like, no, but I didn't. I did. And I'm like, the fuck you stuttering for? You was loud and clear when you was telling these little black girls they couldn't play with you. And I didn't know how to go about it because I just started there and I don't know any of the parents. And I'm like, how do I talk to parents about like a racial issue like that? Like, how do I just straight up say like, oh, your kid is racist? She be saying weird stuff to the other kids, right? Because this little girl, the little white girl, she has bad behavior problems already. And apparently the other teacher tried telling the parents that, and they're like, yeah, she doesn't listen, blah blah, doesn't follow instructions, whatever. And the parents are like, oh, she's just like that, she's just being funny, she's playing around. So the parents pretty much like dismiss her behavior problems already. So I was like, how do I approach them about like a racism type situation? So then the past couple days, the same stuff has been going on, where the little white girl will say things to the one specific black girl, my little buddy, right? So then there's this one time where they were playing in the kitchen area, and it's like, like a little family area where it has like a table and the fake food and the stove and whatever, right? And I see the little white girl, she's fighting over like one of the white baby dolls with somebody. She's like trying to take it from them or whatever. And then I go over there to solve the problem, and I'm like, bro, like there's a perfectly fine baby right here. And I hold up the little black baby doll, right? And she's like, I don't want that baby, that baby's ugly. And I'm trying to give it to her, and then she like just throws it on the ground. And I was like, she just threw the black baby on the ground, what the fuck, And then I was like, that's pretty crazy. And the thing is, like, her parents are chill to the point where I'm like, I don't think her parents are racist, or her parents be saying stuff like that, because they just seem really chill or whatever. Like, they're comfortable with the teachers, because the teachers is me and this other older black woman, right? you know, so it's not like they give us dirty looks or like don't talk to us at all, you know. So I'm like, where is she getting this stuff from? Like, unless she's like watching it on TV or like her grandmother, you know, I don't know. So that whole situation, I was like, wow, okay. And then once I told the black teacher, the older lady, that this stuff was happening, she was like, oh wow, I didn't know this little girl was saying all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, like I can hear all the conversations, and like I might not be facing watching the kids play, but like just because I'm looking here doesn't mean I can hear something that's happening behind me or like over, you know. So I'm telling her all this stuff. She's like, oh wow, we're gonna have to keep an eye on that, right? And me personally, like, you're not supposed to have favorites or like whatever, but like if I see a little girl who looks like me, reminds me of how I was when I was growing up, I'm gonna stick up for her. Like, I feel like that's just like automatic bias or whatever, that I just tend to favor the little black girls. I don't know. So then another situation happened where there's like a mixed girl in our class. Like, her mom is white. No, her mom is black, and then her dad is like white and something else, whatever. So she looks like like kind of like Zendaya, I guess, but like lighter skin or whatever, with kind of dirty blondish hair or whatever, right? She's like a cool mix or what, I don't know, whatever. But there's one instance where it was the same situation. How she had the no, she wanted like the white baby doll, right? And then I was like, oh, why don't you use the black one, you know? Because I'm thinking like she shouldn't have a problem with this. Like, her mom is literally black. She shouldn't care which baby doll she uses. She could use either one. So she's like, oh, I don't want that one. That one is... And she like stopped because she realized she was talking to me. So she's smarter than the other little white girl, right? And I was like, interesting, you know? Like, finish your fucking sentence. But anyways, so that was like interesting. But I think, like, what was it, yesterday was the last straw with the white girl, because they were sitting on the carpet to do like reading circle time or whatever, and then the black girl goes to sit next to her because there's literally no other spots left on the carpet, right? So the black girl goes to sit next to the white girl, and the white girl's like, ew, don't sit next to me, you stink. And she scoots towards the other, like a random white girl, and I was like, what the fuck? And then the black girl completely interrupts the whole class, because usually she sits there quietly, whatever. She completely interrupts the class. It's like, oh, she said I stink. She said she doesn't want me to sit next to me because I stink. And the white girl, no, I didn't. No, I did. I'm like, bitch, you probably did say that because of all the other stuff you be saying, right? So then the teacher is like fed up by it, right? So she took that little girl to the office, had her explain stuff, you know, whatever. And even like the lady at the front desk was like, why does she be saying these things? Because the little girl, the white girl, she's so cute, right? She's cute, pretty, has these curly hair, whatever, because she's probably some kind of Spanish too, right? She's the cutest little girl, but her attitude is just fucking terrible. And I feel like none of the other teachers realize it, because the other teachers had these kids since they were like babies or whatever, and now they're 5 years old. So the other teachers like be waving to the kids in the hallway, be like, oh, I miss you. And she's like, you know, so she looks cute from the outside, but when you actually hear what she's saying, is mean things, you know? And I was thinking she was just a mean kid in general, like just doesn't want to play with anybody. You know how kids don't like to share their toys, whatever. But I noticed it was only like the POC, right? Because at first I thought it was like a black and white thing, because she was doing it, picking on the black girl. But then she's doing the same thing to the little Indian girl too, and I was like, dang, okay, so just literally anyone darker than you, I guess. What the fuck? And I don't know, like, situations like that are just annoying, because I'm like, maybe the problem is in the home. Maybe she's like watching videos of certain things. I don't know. Maybe she just doesn't see a lot of black people in her neighborhood. I don't know. But it's like, it's crazy to me, because in my mind, I'm thinking like, when she grows up, she's probably gonna end up being like, you know, the pretty popular girl in high school or whatever, and like, you know, the mean girl at the same time, right? Or the girl who like is talking to you nice in your face but talking shit about you behind your back, you know? I don't know, like stuff like that. I'm like, how do you go about it? Because like, I know like racism is taught like literally in the household, or like from your surroundings and stuff, but I'd never actually seen it in real life, like seen it right in front of my eyes. So like that's kind of weird. And then of course the little black girl, she gets sad when the white girl tells her that she can't play with her, or you know, she can't sit next to her or whatever. So then I gotta go to that black girl, speak words of affirmation to her and be like, you know, stop playing with people who don't like you, go play with other little black girls, like whatever. And I don't even know if these parents gave their kids the race talk yet, because I feel like when I have kids, whenever I do, if I do, I'm gonna like talk to them and be like, yeah, you need to find some friends that look the fucking same as you. You know, because me personally, I grew up around white kids in a white neighborhood, and then I was struggling with my self identity and shit. Um, so it's like I'm trying to tell this little girl, I'm like, go play with other little black girls. Stop playing with the girl who's saying she don't like you, that you smell bad, right? You know, so it's like it's just crazy how young these things start, especially with the internet. It's just getting worse because kids have access to the internet when they're like 3 years old, because you know, these parents don't really parent anymore. They kind of just hand their kids a phone. So I'm like, I don't know, it's just a lot of weird stuff going on. But yeah, that was it. Bye.